Have you ever wondered how much money you would actually need to earn in order to afford a home like this, or even this? With home prices and mortgage rates still at record highs, that's a question more people are asking than ever before.
How much?
How much?
How much?
Well, today we're going to break it all down, exactly how much income you need in order to buy a home or rent in 2025, based on today's home prices, mortgage rates, and lender guidelines. And let me tell you, when you see some of these numbers and how much money it actually takes in order to sustain these payments, you might be in for a shock. Now, as someone who has been working full-time in real estate since 2008, I will be giving you a first-hand perspective on what you can actually expect in today's housing market. And stick around until the end, because I will also break down exactly how much cash you need if you decide to splurge on your dream home. But before we get into it, if you appreciate videos like this or you find them helpful or useful, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It takes just a second, and I try to post useful content like this every week. All right, let's dive in. There is a popular belief that renting is throwing money away, and buying a home is always a smart investment. And while that can be true in some cases, it's not always that simple. The reality is that both options have their pros and cons, and what's best for you depends on your financial situation, your lifestyle, and your long-term goals. So let's break it down and compare the real costs of owning versus renting so you can make the most informed decision possible for yourself. One of the biggest advantages of renting is its simplicity and predictability. You know exactly what your housing costs will be every month, and there are no unexpected maintenance or repair expenses. Your rent is your rent. There's no worrying about a new roof or property tax increases or a broken furnace that needs replacing. Here are the key costs of renting. Number one, your monthly payment. This is a fixed cost that doesn't change during your lease. Some landlords include utilities, while others require tenants to pay for things like electricity, gas, or water. Number two, renter's insurance. While renter's insurance is optional in some places, many landlords require it. It's much cheaper than homeowner's insurance, typically $10 to $30 per month, and it covers your personal belongings in case of theft, fire, or water damage. Number three, your security deposit and other move-in costs. Most rentals require a security deposit, usually 1 to 2 months rent, and possibly a pet deposit or other fees. These are upfront costs, but they're usually refundable if you leave the property in good condition. Number four, annual rent increases. While rent remains fixed during your lease term, landlords can raise it once your lease is up. The amount varies depending on market demand and rent control laws, if those exist in your area. Number five, no long-term equity building. The downside of renting is that your monthly payments don't go towards ownership. You're not building equity, and when you move out, you don't recoup any of the money that you spent on rent. That being said, renting gives you flexibility. You're not tied down to a mortgage, and if your life situation changes, whether it's a new job, relationship, or family size change, you can move with much less hassle than if you owned a home. For some people, the ability to move without selling a property is a huge advantage. Now let's talk about homeownership. The idea of owning a home is often seen as the American dream, and in many ways it is. Unlike renting, buying a home allows you to build equity over time, and you have the freedom to customize your space however you want. But here's the catch. Homeownership comes with a lot of extra costs that most first-time homebuyers don't consider. Here are the key costs of owning a home. Number one, the down payment. The traditional recommendation is 20% of the purchase price. Now, do you actually need 20% down to buy a home? Absolutely not. Having 20% does help you avoid PMI, which I'll get to in a minute, and can dramatically decrease your monthly payment. But many first-time home buyers put down as little as 3 to 5%. Number two, your mortgage payment. Your biggest expense is your monthly mortgage, which includes both principal and interest. If you have a fixed-rate mortgage, this part stays the same for the life of the loan. However, if you have a variable rate mortgage, your payment could increase when interest rates rise. Number three, property taxes. Unlike rent, property taxes never go away, even after you've paid off your mortgage. These taxes are based on your home's value and vary by location. The range is usually 0.5% to 2.5% of the home's value per year, which means if you own a $400,000 home, you could be paying anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 annually in property taxes. Number four, homeowner's insurance. Every lender requires homeowner's insurance, and depending on your location, it can be significantly more expensive than renter's insurance. In some areas, insurance premiums have doubled or even tripled due to climate risks like wildfires, hurricanes, and floods. Number 5, mortgage insurance. If you put down less than 20% on your home, you'll likely have to pay private mortgage insurance, which can add hundreds of dollars per month to your mortgage payment. Number 6, repairs and maintenance. When you rent, your landlord handles repairs. When you own, you're responsible for everything. The leaky roof, the broken appliances, plumbing issues, landscaping, and more. A good rule of thumb for this is the 1% rule. This simply means that homeowners should expect to spend at least 1% of their home's value annually on repairs. If you own a $400,000 home, that's $4,000 per year. Another common rule is to budget $1 per square foot of living space per year for maintenance costs. Number 7, HOA fees and special assessments. If you live in a community with a homeowners association, expect to pay monthly or annual fees for maintenance, landscaping, and shared amenities. Some HOAs also charge special assessments for major repairs like a new roof or repaving the parking lot. Number 8, utility costs and upkeep. When you own a home, you are responsible for everything: electricity, water, trash collection, landscaping, pest control, and more. Some expenses, like heating and cooling, can fluctuate dramatically based on the season and depending on where you live in the country. Number 9, closing costs. Buying a home isn't just about the down payment. There are closing costs, which typically range from 2 to 5% of the home's purchase price. So on a $400,000 home, that's $8,000 to $20,000 up front. So after looking at all these costs, how do you decide whether renting or buying is the right move? Here's a simple checklist to help guide you. Renting might be better if you want flexibility and might move within the next 3 to 5 years. You're not ready for unexpected expenses like home repairs. You'd rather invest your money elsewhere instead of tying it up in a home. You live in an area where renting is significantly cheaper than buying. Buying might be better if you plan to stay in the same place for at least 5 to 7 years. You have a stable income and can comfortably afford the mortgage, taxes, and maintenance costs. You want to build long-term wealth through home equity. You're okay with unexpected expenses and upkeep responsibilities. The bottom line, renting offers short-term flexibility and lower upfront costs, while buying is a long-term investment that comes with extra responsibilities and expenses. Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make, and with today's high prices and high mortgage rates, affordability is more challenging than ever. But if you decide you are ready to make that big move, how much do you actually need to earn in order to buy a home in 2025? Let's break it down using lender guidelines, market conditions, and real-world numbers so you can see exactly what it takes to afford a home in today's market. One of the most commonly used guidelines in real estate is the 28% rule, which suggests that your total monthly housing costs, including your mortgage, property taxes, and homeowners insurance, should not exceed 28% of your gross income. Using this formula, here's how much income you'd need to afford homes at different price points. To afford a $300,000 home, the minimum income needed would be $80,000 per year. To afford a $500,000 home, the minimum income would be $145,000 per year. A $750,000 home would require a $215,000 minimum income per year. And a $1 million home would require a minimum income of $285,000 per year. And remember, this assumes a 20% down payment and a mortgage rate around 7%. So if you're putting down less than 20%, your monthly payment will increase. If you're wondering how these numbers compare to the past, here's something crazy. Just a few years ago, when mortgage rates were at 3%, a $60,000 salary could afford a $315,000 home. Now with mortgage rates around 7%, that same $60,000 salary only qualifies you for a $200,000 home. That is a $115,000 difference in affordability, all because of rising interest rates. Lenders also look at something called your debt-to-income ratio to determine how much home you can afford. Even if you earn a high salary, lenders won't approve you for a mortgage if your debt-to-income ratio is too high. Your DTI is the percentage of your monthly income that goes towards your debt payments, including credit cards, student loans, car loans, and future mortgage payment. Most lenders want a DTI of 43% or lower, meaning that no more than 43% of your gross income should go towards all of your debts. Here's how DTI affects home affordability. If you earn $80,000 a year and have no debt, you could qualify for a $300,000 home. If you earn $80,000 a year but have a $500 student loan and a $500 car payment every month, your maximum home budget drops to about $250,000. This is why paying off debt before buying a home can significantly increase your purchasing power. If you have been looking at the housing market and thinking, why does everything cost so much? You're not alone. Over the past few years, the cost of buying a home has skyrocketed, and there are three main reasons why. Number one, higher mortgage rates. Mortgage rates have more than doubled in the last few years. In 2020 and 2021, rates were 2.5% to 3%, making homeownership much more affordable. In 2024 and 2025, rates are hovering around 7%, drastically increasing the cost of borrowing. Let's compare the difference. A $400,000 mortgage at 3% would be about $1,700 a month. A $400,000 mortgage at 7% would be about $2,700 a month. It is almost an extra $1,000 per month just from higher interest rates. And that's before property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Number two, low inventory. One of the biggest reasons home prices haven't dropped even with high mortgage rates is because there aren't enough homes for sale. Many current homeowners are locked in with ultra-low mortgage rates and don't want to sell because it would mean trading their cheap mortgage for a more expensive one. New home construction slowed down during the pandemic, and now we have a shortage of available homes. Even though builders are ramping up production, it's not happening fast enough to meet demand. Large investors and hedge funds bought up tons of single-family homes, reducing the number of homes available for regular buyers. Because of this lack of inventory, prices have remained high, even though affordability has plummeted. Number three, rising insurance costs and property taxes. Even if you can afford the mortgage, other homeownership costs are rising faster than ever. Homeowners insurance premiums have doubled in some areas due to increased climate risks and major disasters. In states like California, Florida, and Texas, some insurers are even pulling out entirely. Property taxes have increased in many states due to rising home values. Even if your home value doesn't go up, many cities and counties reassess properties every year, leading to higher tax bills. This means even people who already own their home are feeling the squeeze, making it even harder for first-time homebuyers to enter the market. So what can you do? If you are feeling like homeownership is out of reach in 2025, you're not alone. But while affordability is a challenge, there are smart strategies you can use to improve your chances of buying a home and making a financially sound decision. Here are some key steps that you can take. Number one, boost your credit score. A better credit score equals a better interest rate, which saves you tens of thousands of dollars over time. Number two, increase your down payment. More money up front equals a lower monthly payment. And if you can put down 20%, you'll avoid PMI altogether. Number three, don't max out your budget. Just because a lender approves you for a certain amount doesn't mean you need to spend it all. Many buyers stretch their budget to the max, leaving little room for emergencies, home maintenance, or future financial goals. Number four, buy when the time is right for you. Many home buyers are waiting for interest rates to drop before jumping into the market. And while lower rates would help affordability, they also bring more competition, which could push home prices even higher. All right, for fun, let's say you want to buy this house. Listing price, just about $90 million. All right, 20% down payment, that's almost $18 million. Property taxes, that'll be about $88,000 per month. Insurance, that'll be another $30,000 per month. Maintenance and utilities, that's another $20,000 per month. The total monthly costs on this home would be over $600,000. Crazy, right? If you are planning to buy a home in 2025, do these numbers surprise you? Drop a comment below because I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching. I'm George Poporad, and I'll see you next time.